Dude, Frank, thanks for coming, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
So why don't you give a little intro about yourself, kind of where you're from,
All right.
who you are, and then we'll jump right into it, man.
I'm Franklin Quiros. I'm originally from Virginia. That's where I lived at in the States, but spent most of my life in Panama.
Really?
Yeah. And joined the military out of Virginia.
Okay.
I got myself in a little bit of trouble.
What kind of trouble?
I was, I don't really, have parents, I guess.
Yeah.
So in Virginia, there was a lot of the stuff where we lived at. There was just a lot of bad shit going on.
Okay.
And I didn't want to get myself involved in it, but I ended up getting myself involved, and I got arrested, I think, when I was just turning 18.
Ugh.
I got sentenced to 15 years.
Shut up. You got
Yeah.
15 years at 18?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Possession of concealed weapon, resisting arrest, and then possession of marijuana with intent to distribute.
How much weed?
I had I think 4 grams on me, dude.
That's it?
It was Virginia. It was 1988.
Yeah.
It's a 5-year charge for each thing. So, yeah. And so I had a little stash of money, and I had got a lawyer, and he found out that they hadn't read me my Miranda rights at the right time. So everybody who
Always
gave
a
this,
loophole.
yeah, everybody who had read me who had written a statement about me, they just didn't put the Miranda rights in the right spot, and then he ended up getting my sentence suspended. So I did maybe 5 or 7 days getting processed and stuff, and then I got
No kidding.
Yeah, I got sentenced to 6 months probation, 6 months anger management, and 6 months substance abuse. And then I had to pay $3,000 in freaking fines.
Damn, which is a lot back then.
Yeah, and 900 hours of community service.
900 hours. What'd you do for
Yeah.
your community service?
I just ended up paying it. I minimum wage, dog. They had me going to a homeless shelter, man, and cleaning up it was a old ass motel.
Uh-huh.
So I had to go into each room and clean them after these dudes had left, and I just couldn't do it.
You'd rather just pay it off, huh?
Yeah, so I just saved some money, and at the very end, I freaking paid it off and shit. And but even then, my PO, he wouldn't sign off on my stuff unless I was progressing. So progress was having a job, but then also pursuing something else, like your education.
Okay.
Or pursuing the military. So I was trying to pursue my education, but since I hadn't finished high school, I think 9th grade was my last grade in high school.
Okay.
So I got my GED. And then I tried every branch of service, man. And then I had never heard of the Marines. I didn't even know what the fucking Marines were, dog.
Really?
Yeah, and I stepped out of the
Marines
Air
will
Force.
take ya.
Yeah, I stepped out of the recruiter's office, and this fool was smoking a cigarette. Is the only recruiting station that had a little butt can or whatever.
Yeah.
And this fool was staring at me smoking it. I was depressed, man. I was like, I'm never gonna figure my life out, and he just goes back inside, and I walked in, and I was like, yo, is this the military? What is this? I was like, what is this? Are you guys one of them? And I was like, this is my last straw. I need to join the military. And they busted out these little cards, and I was like, look, man.
Skip the shit.
I don't care, dog. I was like, I'll do anything. I'll sweep, clean, just get me the fuck out of here. And that shit within itself was a fucking journey, yo. Those my recruiters, man, fucking bless them.
Let's
I love
hear
them.
it, dude. This is why we're here, man. I love you, dude. Already, this is going to be great.
So I didn't finish school, and I got arrested in the States, but I was going to DOD schools in Panama because my dad was in the Army. My dad's a Vietnam vet, and he was in the Army, and he was stationed in Panama.
Dude, how did he take you getting arrested?
My dad was pissed. He was fucking pissed
You grew up as a Vietnam dad?
Yeah, but but my dad on his, my dad was a fucking hustler. My dad, it's just a whole nother story, but my dad did his time in Vietnam. He got out of the Army and started freaking making phosphorus bombs in Panama against the local regime, the local political government shit. My dad was
working for them or
against them, and he was making phosphorus bombs for them. He got himself in too much trouble and came back to the States and joined the Army again and became a map maker. So my dad was something else, dog.
Can we get your dad on the podcast?
If he comes back to the States, yeah, he's scared.
Yeah.
He got in trouble for laundering money in Panama and shit. And he's scared to come back to the States. I don't know, man.
We'll go to him, Chris. We're going to him.
You gotta go
to him.
You gotta go to Panama and talk to my pops. He has some crazy ass fucking stories. Yeah, but where were we? How did I get on my dad?
Damn, dude. Already, we're just
all right. 9th grade.
Yeah,
9th grade.
Yeah,
9th grade. So I didn't finish 9th grade. In order to join the Marine Corps, you got to at least have GED in 10th grade completion. And they called me and they're like, bro, we can't get you in. And I was like, but what about the schools in Panama? It was block scheduling. And for a while, The first half of the school year was, I think it was 10, and then the second half was 11. So I finished the first half, and then my dad kicked me out, and I was fucking homeless in Panama.
No shit.
Yeah, and I didn't
At
do
what
that
age?
At 16, 17.
Your dad kicked you out at 16?
Yeah. He
In Panama? What's
Yeah.
Panama like?
It's nice if you got money, and then, I mean, if you're just living out in the fucking streets, it fucking sucks. I got myself in a shit ton of trouble, and I ended up having to come back to the States with all the trouble I got myself in Panama. And, yeah, that's just something else. But at least I had finished. I had that on paper somewhere. I told him, I went to school in freaking Panama, and it's a DOD school, and they're like, all right, cool, let me see what we can find. But the bases had closed down already.
Oh, no.
They ended up finding some photocopy of, like, my report card, and the other half was faded out. And the first half showed that I had finished the first block scheduling, but I just never started up on the other shit, you know what I mean? So they used that, and they put a government stamp on it, and that's how they freaking got that out of the way.
Really?
And then they waived my arrests, and then there was a couple of other ones that just said, don't say anything. And I fucking didn't, and I joined the Marine Corps, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, in that moment of truth, they're like, do not say shit. And I just sat there, and I was like,
oh, during the amnesty period at boot camp? Is that what you're talking about? Dude, my recruiter did so my recruiter whited out some shit.
I was fucking drenched in sweat, dog.
Because he told me, he goes, no matter what you say, what they're going to say, he goes, they don't know, or you wouldn't be that far. He goes, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And he's like, you'll see people raise their hands. Oh, have you ever done drugs? This is your amnesty period. Now is the last time. We know. And dude, I was sick, dude. I'm sitting there like, because I had asthma. I tore my my meniscus. And, dude, he whited all that out on my medical records. And he's like, listen to me. You want to be a Marine, shut your fucking mouth. Don't say shit. Sit through that class. It's going to be like you're inducted when you get there. And he's like, they're going to say everything they can to scare you. Dude, I went through, and like 2 kids raised their hands. Never saw them again.
Yep. Like 3, like they start, the door was on the right, and they start lining up, and I'm just like,
yup.
just sitting there like,
sweating.
no eye contact with any of them.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I'm like, fuck it. If you guys take me, you guys take me, whatever was the worst case scenario.
Hilarious.
So, yeah, I get past, and to be honest, like I said, I didn't know what the fuck to expect. I had no idea. I thought that, like, I was going to show up and be kind of like camping. So kind of like some fucking, like, I was going to get some.
Zero knowledge on the Marine Corps.
Zero.
And you just joined.
I just joined. And my brother told me, he's like, you just need to start running. So I was just always running and doing pull-ups.
Okay.
So at least I went in being able to run and do 20 pull-ups, and that was it.
You're good, yeah.
Yeah, and fucking, so we get in there, and you know, at the very beginning, everything is like nice. You know, like where you're waiting to get your drum started, they're like, man, this shit is dope.
Are you a Paris Island Marine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then that whole ceremony when they turn the drill instructors over, like they're yours or whatever, I was like, what the fuck is going on in my life right now? And I went in during a time when there was only like fucking 25 of us in this platoon. What year is this? This was 2000.
Okay, so you're pre-war. So
yeah.
That's how small your platoons were?
Yeah, it was tiny, dog, because it was before all the kids graduated, and it was like in between seasons, I guess what they called it or some shit.
Yeah.
And there was like 4 drill instructors, and then 2 of them that were there were under investigation for like hitting some kid in the back of the head with a canteen and fucking his ass up. And so they put him with us, dog. And I was like, these fools were putting their hands on me, man. My recruiter said, no matter what happens, it's going to be worth it in 3 months. Just put up with it. They're not going to put you through anything worse. I thought these fools were not human. I'm from Panama. Y'all, I'm Hispanic. I'm superstitious. I believe in weird shit.
They're cursed.
I was like, dog, these fools, how can they do that? How do they know I'm touching my face? How the fuck do they know? How the fuck do they know if I'm opening my eyes? Like, what is it? You know? So they had, that shit was a whole other experience for itself. And when I went in, I guess I got a pretty decent ASVAB score, but they still put me as infantry.
Of course.
You know,
You're
so
a waiver, bro. You got like 3 waivers. You're 100% going over.
Yeah. So like I said, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing or whatever. Finished that shit and then go to SY, or I think at the time it was called ITB or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so it was 45 days long. I loved it. Made it to the 40, like the last, I think it's the last hump or whatever that you do.
The crucible. No. You already got that at boot camp.
Yeah, this is like in ITB.
Hold on. I'm stopping you for a second. I want more boot camp stories.
All right.
This is Fucking hilarious. So, I mean, I guess we can keep going, but I feel like you got some wild.
In boot camp?
Yeah.
Boot camp was crazy.
What was
as
it
fuck.
like back then? Because, I mean, it was pre-war, right? I mean, it's 2000, so, I mean.
Korea. They're talking about Korea the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about whatever parallel like Korea's on.
Yeah.
They'd walk up to you and be like, have you ever heard of the blah, blah, blah parallel? And I was like,
You're like, I'm from Panama, bro. What the hell is, what's Korea?
Yeah, I was like, this recruit does not know. And they would just flip out, dog. I mean, they just had a lot of, the dudes that had a lot of fucking time on their hands, and I needed it, though.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Yep.
I was out of fucking control, man. By the time I got to the Marine Corps, and I needed somebody to humble me like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like
It'll do it. It'll straighten you up real quick.
as crazy as that experience was, these fools were gonna put a gun in my hand. They better get my mind right before they do, kind of shit. You know, and that's how I saw it, and that's what my recruiter said. And so I took all of it. You know what I mean? Like the whole like when they hang your freaking arms over the pull-up bars and shit, and make you just sit there with your pack on and shit. They were making me they would do stuff like hang your fucking feet upside down from the rack with a mouthful of water, and you couldn't swallow it and you couldn't drop it, and you had to just sit there.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're old school. Okay, so like you're the guy. Okay, so I've never sat and been able to talk to somebody that was. It's always been like my era and then newer. Damn, dude,
Those
that's
fools-
wild.
Yo, I would write letters and I'd be like, these fools aren't real. Like, if I die and they tell you that I killed myself, they're lying. These fools killed me. In my letters back home to boot camp, I was like, these fools are going to kill me. They don't care. I was like, they're crazy as fuck. This one time we had this, we were, it was like towards the end, and we were fucking, you know when you're turning on your gearing and shit?
Yeah.
And so we're all like marching back after turning our gear back, and we had this dude who had a small bladder. This
Okay.
fool was always fucking pissing on everybody, dog. Like, we'd be fucking walking, and you just are marching and shit. You look down and you see like, cause he would just walk and piss.
yeah.
He couldn't
Oh,
hold it no more, and he'd walk and piss.
We had a guy in our platoon like that.
And so we were giggling, like this motherfucker's pissing on the back of our feet, and we're like laughing or whatever. And then we get back to our squad bay, and our drill instructor's tripping because somebody called them and said that we were nasty. And I was at a Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion in Paris Island. Like, they were fucking nuts back there. You know what I mean? So we get there, and he's like, why the fuck is this happening? And man, at this point, we're tired of the dude. This dude had freaking slain us, and we didn't want to take blame for anybody else. And he's like, why were you guys laughing? And this dude named Benjamin, he's like, I won't be no snitch. He was like, but it was recruit Thornsberry. He was urinating all over the back of my leg, and then we all just started laughing. And the drill instructor was like, get out. He told everybody to get the fuck out, and Thornsberry stayed. That was, in my military career, that's the only time I've left a man behind, dog. Let me tell you, bro.
He deserved it.
He deserved it, and I felt so bad, man. We fucking went to go eat chow and shit and came back. Everything was fucked up, and that fool was crying. He was doing push-ups over a pile of fucking bleach, dog. And the whole squad bay was just trashed, man. Like, all for pissing on the back of somebody's leg and shit, you know what I mean?
Justified.
Yeah, man. Like that to me, I was, I guess, like I said, that shit was fucking humbling.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Like, you know.
So you go on to ITB, which was Infantry Training Battalion back then, right? Then it went to SOI.
I think so. I think went to SOI afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So so how was that? So now you're still trying to figure. You're not even a Marine yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still trying to figure out. I mean, you don't even know what an 03 is.
No, I didn't. I didn't know what the 03 was, and these motherfuckers, man. They were a great group of gentlemen to be around, to be honest with you. And, you know, you get there and you got like a couple of days before the shit starts. So then like them recon dudes start coming up and they start giving you like these like, come join us. And they have you sit in a freaking room and you're watching these videos of how great and how awesome of a family environment it is. And then nobody fucking volunteers. And then they're like, all right, cool. Well, your ASVAB is good and you have good eyesight. So let's go. These fools made me run some crazy ass shit to see if the prequel to some shit.
Yeah.
It called? Or,
like, prequel. For recon. Yeah.
Yeah, they had me run that shit, and I'm like, what? Why am I treading water in a pool holding a fucking brick, dog? Like, what is going on?
How did my life lead to this?
Yeah, like I was like, recruiter said you just put up with it, whatever. So I passed all that stuff, and then school starts, and they said that like after that you get to run the real NDoc.
And you're like, wait, what?
I was like, that didn't count. I was like, that didn't count for G.I. Joe mode, and I got to do more G.I. Joe shit. So then I go to SOI, and that was fucking insane, dude. Like, but I loved it. Yeah. And I feel like that is a part of my Marine Corps experience that I'll never change in the fucking entire universe.
Oh,
You know what
no
I mean?
But why though?
Because of the way everybody was. You know, I got to experience two sides in the Marine Corps. I got to experience that side, and then I got injured on that last hike.
Okay.
The last hike that I was in, I have flat feet, and I lied about it.
Yeah.
And I tore my Achilles during that last hike.
Really?
And at the very end, you know when you're supposed to like stay standing and shit, you know? I just fell over and they took my boots off and my shit was fucked up, so they put me on med hold.
No.
And they were like, dude, we're gonna have to admin-step you. We're gonna medically retire you because the injuries to the bottom of your feet. And this was some first sergeant that was telling me this shit, and I was like, look, you can't do that. I was like, please. I like fucking damn near got on my knees. I was like, please, if you send me back home, I was like, you might as well just put a bullet in my head. I was like, I cannot go back to Virginia. I cannot go back to that life. I was like, I'll fucking do everything except put something in my motherfucking body. I was like, I will do anything to remain a Marine or just to get a chance to hit the fleet. And he was like, all right. He's like, step out of my office. He made a couple of calls, and he was like, okay, there's a MCT course like picking up in a couple of days. If you can run a PFT and pass the PFT, they were like, you can stay in the Marine Corps, but then you're going to go back to being an open contract. You're going to, at the end of MCT, you'll find out what it is that you're going to get. And I was like, fine, fuck it, whatever. Yeah. I'll do it. I was like, I don't care. I was like, what's a fucking PFT with a fucked up Achilles, right?
Right, 3 miles.
Oh, my God, dude. They let my platoon run it with me and shit.
Yeah.
Those dudes helped me fucking finish it. I think I had 30 seconds before I was about to fail.
Really?
Yeah, I did the 100 crunches, the 20 pull-ups. But that run, dude, on my Achilles, that shit fucking sucked. And then I had to I passed that. Then I had to 2 days later go into that 14-day MCT shit, which was cake compared to
recon,
all that other stuff. And then by the time we finished, they were like, all right, cool, you're going to be an electrical engineer.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, what the fuck is that? So that school was 6 months long. And, bro, I've never fucking finished, ninth grade. And now I'm sitting in a classroom, and they're talking about physics. This journey, I was like, I just got my body strong. Now you're fucking throwing some shit at my brain that I don't even know what the fuck. I'm sitting in these classes in Camp Lejeune, I think? Courthouse Bay.
Okay.
And I was like, I spent the entire time in the freaking library trying to learn Ohm's Law and physics. And how electricity flowed.
On a ninth grade education.
And I was just like, holy crap. But I did it. I finished it. And I completed that shit, with top honors or whatever.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
I guess I'm a pretty decent mechanic.
Yeah.
And that's why I did that, hit the fleet, and then, man, that shit was chill, dog.
Yeah?
Because I got to the fleet, I think 2000s. And so 9/11 hadn't happened yet. And man, that shit was fucking dope, man. It was I felt like...
Yeah, what the hell were you guys even doing in the Marine Corps with no war going on?
Nothing. We were, absolutely nothing. We'd be day on, day off. We have skeleton crews. We would show up at half of the shop would show up from 7:30 to 11, and the rest of the shop would show up from noon to 4:30 and shit. And then
what?
We were barbecuing all the time. We're on Camp Pendleton, so we're barbecuing at the beach all the fucking time, playing dodgeball, football.
Bro, we did not have the same military experience. That is insane. Because when you're in, you don't talk to your seniors on this level. So
yeah.
I've always wondered what the hell dudes were doing before the war broke out.
Just chilling, dog, barbecuing.
Damn,
barbecuing,
bro.
and just...
You're calling all your boys yo, join the Marine Corps.
Straight up. I was like, bro, this is fucking cake. You just got to plan it out better than I did. You know what I mean? Plan it out way better than I did, but you just get to this point.
Yeah.
And I would always send pictures of the beach. I'm like, bro, I'm on a base with a fucking beach and shit. We're playing dodgeball and boogie boarding on Wednesdays for PT.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then the war happened, and it just fucked everything up, dog. It just ruined everything, man. On the day that those freaking planes crashed into the towers, it had to have been on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, because we had done PT, and I was at my house, freaking getting ready, waiting to get picked up. Oh, and part of the shit is I don't have a driver's license either because I got arrested. I got my driver's license suspended indefinitely.
Oh, to this day?
No, I finally got it back after my second deployment.
Really?
Yeah.
You're fighting for your country and you don't even have a driver's license.
And I was driving the first 2 times I was a driver. The first 2 times
go figure.
Go fucking figure.
So
dog.
the World Trade Centers fall.
Yeah.
world changed immediately. Did you get a phone call because you're at home or what?
Nah, I'm just sitting there watching the news, and I was like, what the fuck? My boy comes and picks me up, get in the car, and he's like, yo, are you listening to the radio? And I was like, yeah. So we get to the shop. It was nothing like I had ever seen in the fleet, man. And all hell broke loose. Everybody went from being nice to being a dick. We were there till like 3 in the fucking morning, mobilizing the whole shop, inventorying everything.
No shit.
And then from that point on, it was just like hell. Just train.
The Marine Corps we have, used to have now.
Yeah.
So.
And then we didn't know when we were gonna freaking deploy, So we were just like, all right, we're just gonna train. And then so we just trained until it was time to.
What was training like for your MOS?
CAX WTI.
Okay.
So set up. So the first unit that I was at was Mass 3, and that was on Camp Pendleton. But they were a detachment from Miramar, and they supported 3rd LAD.
Okay.
And then
damn, LAD was still a thing then, huh?
Yeah, and then there was a DASC. So we provided support for the direct air support people or whatever, and then.
So what exactly were you doing?
Generators, power.
So you were which is a huge deal. Yeah. I mean, because obviously the COCs, the command center, everything.
Not run out of fucking electricity, dog. They can never go down, or you're fucked. So yeah, we would provide power for that, and we pretty much wire up tiny little cities. Really, what we would do. So there was my MOS. I'm the mechanic, and then there's operators. So there's generator operators, and I'm a generator operator mechanic. And I made it up as far as not rebuilding the engine, but replacing engines.
Got it.
So
you get the phone call. You guys are deploying.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind then?
Oh, I didn't believe it. That was fucking crazy because they couldn't give us a day when we were leaving.
Okay.
So then they were like, you can't leave
base.
You can't leave your house without notifying your platoon sergeant, and you can't be away from your house for longer than 30 minutes. And then if they call you, you have to be able to be back. If they recall you, have to be able to be back at the shop for within 30 minutes of them calling you or whenever they tell you to show up.
Yeah.
They would do these mock drills where they would call you and then just make sure that you're at home. And then it was like a fucking Sunday, man, or a Saturday or something, and just chilling in my house, and I get this call, and my fucking heart sunk, and they're like, you got to be at the shop within a couple hours, and we're freaking leaving. And that was just like that.
This is not a drill.
Yeah, and even then I was telling Dom and Eric, I was like, I thought that shit was a simulation until we were actually punching into Iraq, because it felt like we were just flying around in a circle, and we landed in the same fucking desert that we were training in. And they're like, oh, just set up camps and shit. So I was like, there's no way this is real, man. There's no fucking way that.
So you wait. They load you on what, an AC-130?
Oh, damn.
What were you on? Is it a civilian flight or military flight?
Civilian flight.
Okay. So you just get on this plane and you still think that this is part of a training evolution?
Yeah. I didn't think it was fucking real. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was real until I put my foot in somebody's face.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't think it was fucking real at all. I was just like, this is not real.
And then you get to Iraq. You land straight in Iraq, or did you go to Kuwait first?
We went to Kuwait first.
So the war hasn't even popped off yet.
No, we're just in Kuwait.
That's right. So you're an initial pusher then.
Yeah.
No shit. Okay, so you land in Kuwait, which is weird because obviously, between Iraq, Kuwait, and that's the whole reason you're there. Where did you guys land? Were you at Kuwaiti Naval Base, or do you remember?
Some airport, and then we had to discreetly get loaded into these long buses.
Okay.
With the curtains and shit.
Okay.
And so nobody could see what was inside, and then they didn't have no fucking AC in the damn things.
Never.
It was misery. As soon as you get in there, you're just drenched in fucking sweat, and then you get dropped off.
Hours.
In the middle of fucking nowhere.
Okay.
With all this gear as we're getting dropped off, all this gear is getting dropped off from the ships. I forgot what it's called.
The MEU?
Yeah, but there's stuff on there that they have that's been sitting there for years. They're just sitting there in preservatives. On the ships, they have enough to fucking have every MOS on that ship and just push, right? So they have generators, Humvees, but some of them are super fucking old. So as we were showing up, they're just dropping off. It's like a video game. They're just dropping off all these things that we had to just break down and start setting them up and getting them ready to fucking.
Okay, so when you get there, how many has the invasion hasn't gone yet?
No.
So are you the first wave of Marines? Are you setting up COCs and
yeah.
So you're first boots on the ground as far as the start of this war.
Yeah, we had to set up ammo supply points and then communications in Al Qut, and then from there we were running supplies back and forth from Al Qut to Baghdad. After everything.
Okay, so let's.
Pushed in.
I don't want to jump there yet.
Oh, my bad.
So you're getting everything set up in Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
Then the invasion. Did you guys get the call? I mean, was there like, how was that when you heard that we're pushing into Iraq?
So by the time all that stuff was happening, we had already set up. I think it was Camp Coyote and then Camp Tara. We had already set those places.
Camp Tara
up.
was still there. Well, at least when I was there.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
We had just finished setting that stuff up, so it had like a mini chow hall, and you can kind of see the news and stuff. So we all got to see Bush declare war.
Okay.
On the
and
news.
you're in Kuwait watching
Kuwait,
this.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then so from that point on, everything got a little more tense.
Yeah.
And everybody started to get ready to just fucking leave. And then he started dropping SCUDs on us in Kuwait and shit.
Really?
Yeah, leading up to us pushing.
How was that? Did you guys think you were getting like chemical? So you're a mop suit Marine.
Yeah.
See, so anybody listening or watching, there's two generations of Marines. There's mop suit, which is you, which these guys were in complete chemical mop. I mean, what do you even know what mop stands for? But there's a complete suit that you have to wear with gas mask. And you guys, I mean, my seniors like bragged about living in these things for like 60 days, 40 days. I mean,
40 days for me. I was in that shit for 40 days, and I had to I pissed myself.
See, you all.
I'm sitting in my own urine, dog.
Dude, and so you know what? And this is what I've always said. You guys can have the initial push. I will give that to you because I hear stories and where guys are like, I'm like, damn, that would have been incredible just to witness.
Yeah.
The one thing that I don't envy of any story from any veteran of our generation is the mop suit stories. I mean, you hear about guys that had to shit themselves in because they would be under attack. There'd be chemicals in the air, and they'd have to, like, you're zipped up fully in these things for days on end.
Man, there's no like fucking little. They should have had like a little fucking pouch to like fucking hang your shit out the side. They didn't think that shit through, dog.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Nothing. You just goes right in there.
What was that like? I mean, are you just sweating all day in it?
All day, you're just wet and soggy all fucking day. You know, it's just I fucking hated it, and it was just stressful. You know what I mean? Because there's the one rule you want to break. We're Marines, and we cut corners and shit. And sometimes I just wanted to take that shit off, and I was like, fuck, man. I seen The Rock, bro. I seen those fools die from chemical motherfucking shits on that movie, bro. I don't want to go out like those fools, so I just kept my shit on, you know what
Nobody
I mean?
knew then.
No, we didn't.
No one knew.
No, I didn't want to go out like that.
Because you're all waiting for weapons of mass destruction to come and just melt everybody to the scorched earth.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Okay, so what was I mean, you guys had to carry those things everywhere with you, right?
Yeah, so we had the gas mask on the side, and then we had the mop suits in our bags, and then after he declared war, then we had to wear the mop suits. And then he started dropping SCUDs. It was pretty cool scary and cool watching
for sure,
them being intercepted.
Yeah.
It was like reverse lightning. It was like the lightning was going up. Because
Really?
he got like clouds, right? And then they would light up, but the top parts would light up instead of the bottom parts. As opposed to like when lightning strikes, the part you can see the cloud lights up. It would just look fucking odd and shit. And that shit was scary as fuck, man. It's like Henny Penny, the sky's falling.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that is wild.
Like 2 a.m. or some shit. One of my buddies was telling me a story that he was driving down one of the main roads during that time frame to deliver some parts, and he saw a motorcycle coming towards him, and he was like, "Fuck, this fool's not getting out of the way." So he said he swerved out of the way, and it was a fucking rocket. It was a fucking rocket. Yo, man, we're fucking pogues, dog. We don't know what the fuck. He was like, bro. He was like, a fucking missile just flies by and shit, dog. Like,
Because those scuds will just cruise.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them that they'll
Just like skip and just fucking land somewhere and shit.
Oh my
They all
God.
ended up being empty and have nothing in them.
They all.
We would have known if there would have been gas, right? We would have never
yeah.
taken those fucking suits off.
No.
No, it
And so you lived in a suit for 40 days?
was like 40 days, yeah.
That's miserable,
And
man.
then I ended up pissing myself, I think the second day of the initial push because we couldn't stop. We drove for 3 days straight, so I couldn't piss, man. I was like fucking like, like I couldn't get my shit out. There's absolutely no fucking way, and I was just like 1, 2, 3, go, 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 go. You know, just fucking let it all out, dog.
Damn. And then you're sitting in it.
Just sitting in it forever.
Man.
And then it just becomes sweat, and you just kind of just forget that it's pee, I guess.
And then you don't see that in the Marine Corps commercials, huh? Recruiter didn't tell you about that.
No.
So you guys do the initial push happens, and you guys are following right behind. So as they're advancing, you guys are pretty much providing anything that they need, or were you guys set up for a ways and then operating out of
We didn't
a
follow
base?
anybody in, dog. We went in by ourselves.
What do you mean you went in by yourselves?
We didn't follow anybody in. There was a force protection vehicle. There was my CO. me, and like 6 more vehicles behind us. And then we went and fucking drove down that long ass road, and then went into Iraq, and that was it, man. That was just us.
What?
And we had spots that we had to go to, and we had to set up, like the ammo resupply point. We set that up, and we set up comms. And
So you guys are just mobbing around in Iraq,
yeah, generator mechanics.
literally the opening hours of Iraq, and you guys are just out there just cruising. You didn't run into any like. I mean,
Shit.
back then, what were they called then?
What do you mean?
The
IEDs or
no, because IEDs weren't even a thing
Yeah,
then. As far as the Iraqis, they were the military at that point.
Yeah,
you
it
weren't
was like
fighting.
Ba'ath Party members, Fedayeen, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I mean that was they were still wearing all Iraq
Yeah.
uniforms.
We got to draft them fucking crazy ass oil fires too.
Really?
Yeah, at the very beginning, like you cross over.
Damn, man, you got to experience so much cool shit. All the stuff we were watching on TV, you were there.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
It wasn't cool until afterwards.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's terrifying. But like, I mean, now you look back and you got a respect for it. But
Yeah.
so you guys are just out there just setting, you just get like what, a 9-digit grid, and you just had to go and
Yeah.
10-digit grid, whatever, and just go set up these little fobs, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And then just dropped off a bunch of ammo. It was called Chesty.
Okay.
I think it was after Nasiriyah, and then fucking after that we drove all the way to Al Qut, and then we set up like a resupply point there and shit, and then we would just run supplies to Baghdad.
Are you guys hooking and jabbing while you're out there, or what?
Shit was going down, yeah.
Really?
We were getting ambushed, and then
Really?
there was-
Let me
yeah.
hear some of this. So as a generator mechanic that had no training, like as far as workups, like on the
Yeah.
grunt side of things, now you're out there. I mean, you guys are in softback Humvees then too,
I
right?
didn't have a fucking door, dog. I didn't even have a fucking door, man. I didn't even have a fucking door, dog. Like I get so jealous when I see the vehicles now. You know what I
Right?
mean? I know they're heavy and I know they're hot, but bro, I would have rather been
Oh,
hot.
for sure. I mean, you had canvas, like plastic.
Yeah, and then like we put like sandbags on the top row right there, and then we fucking had somebody weld metal plates underneath.
Really?
Not because we knew anything, but just because I figured I was like, I don't know, something like an extra layer. I wasn't like it was ballistic armor or nothing. I was just
Yeah.
I went to the weld shop and I was like, yo, can you fit this shit under here? And they fucking put it underneath the Humvee or whatever in Kuwait, and I was like, all right, bet, let's go.
And you guys just that was it.
That was it. Yeah, that was fucking.
So what were you guys doing when you guys were taking contact? You just bailing out and trying to get off, like into
Either we would stop and just start shooting in that direction.
Yeah.
Or we would just fucking keep driving and just fucking get the fuck out of Dodge if shit got too much for us and shit, and they would tell us to fucking we gotta go. You know what I mean? So we would just keep driving, I guess.
Bro, this is wild.
Feels weird talking about it, so if I guess, but yeah. I told Dom and Eric, I figured our experiences were like the same as everybody else's, so I really don't ever like tell anybody this shit, you know what I mean? But like,
I'm fascinated by this, man.
so like I was telling them like when I thought it was real was the very beginning when we're in Kuwait and we're driving onto the fucking road, a freaking Mustang fucking pulls in front of us, and I got separated from the vehicles in front of me and shit, you know what I mean?
Stopped.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I should freaking plow through it or whatever. My master sergeant was like, you better catch up. And the dudes wouldn't move. I don't think they knew what was going on. So I just said, fuck it, man. I just started fucking kicking. Because it sat pretty low and we sat pretty high. So I had enough leverage to start just kicking the passenger side window in. And I just started kicking the dude in the face. And the dude just fucking drove off into the ditch. And then I was like, okay, this shit's real.
That was your like
that
aha
was-
moment.
That was immediate, dude. And like we would drive through crowds and people would try to get in the vehicles and shit, and we had to fucking
What?
push them off. Yeah, they were like touching your face and trying to grab the shit on you and stuff, and fucking that shit was fucking weird, man. That's why I like nobody touching my fucking face.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Dude, that is crazy, bro. Like, cause like, you know, and I'm the same way. I feel like from when I was in, everybody had the same experience. But like,
Yeah.
I forget, because you hear stories every now and then, because you would have been one of my seniors, you know, at the age difference.
Yeah.
And dude, that is nuts, bro.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm actually like putting my hands on people right now, like fucking to get them to get the fuck off of me. You know what I mean? Like,
And you have no door on your vehicle. You're in
No.
softback Humvees. I mean, obviously IEDs weren't a thing then yet. Were you there when that transition, or you were already? I mean, no, they didn't come for years later, so
Yeah.
you were already out of there. But
yeah,
damn, that's why. What were the oil fields like
it was
when you drove through those on fire? Like, what was it smell?
it was horrible. It was horrible, and I'd say the flames are like 50 yards away, and you can still feel like heat on your face.
Really?
And then it was nighttime, and there was birds fucking like circling that shit, and they kept flying into the fucking fire, and some of them would fall. It would just look like hell, dog. They were just like circling the fucking oil fires. I don't know why. And then some of them would fucking catch on fire and fucking fall to the ground and shit. That shit was crazy as hell.
What?
It was weird too. Obviously, I'm probably gonna fucking suffer the consequences of driving through oil fires.
100%. I mean, we
Yeah.
gotta. So he'll help you out with your claims.
He'll help me out with my fucking claim. Yeah.
Damn, dude. I want to hear as much like.
Oh, and to top it off, that road that I drove down to get in. I mean, I don't have a really good relationship with my pops, but he, after Desert Storm, because he was a map maker, topographical surveyor for the Army, he helped build that road going into Kuwait.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew that shit until like way later or whatever. That was pretty fucking cool, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty legit. What your dad was stop making bombs for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, so what was your day to day? I mean, you're just running supply routes all day?
Yeah, so we had our people providing security and shit, and then we would get like a list of fucking deliveries pretty much, and we would be delivering everything from food to ammo to whatever, and we would just drop it off at a post in like on really close to Baghdad. We didn't drive into Baghdad. That shit was crazy.
Really?
You could feel Baghdad like hundreds of miles away getting fucked up.
Really?
Yeah. Where we were at, we were pretty far away, and I could feel it at night when they were getting bombed and shit. That shit sounded crazy, and it looked crazy too when you started getting closer and closer.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we would just fucking deliver supplies and then come back, and then sometimes people would fucking need us to provide security for them delivering supplies in another direction, so then we would just fucking hop on their vehicles.
So you're just rolling mobile the whole time?
Yeah. We were just helping each other out and shit and just fucking trying to make it the fuck out of there, I guess.
What was comms like? I mean, how was the communication between everybody?
It was fucking horrible.
Yeah?
That's why people were shooting at each other. You know, that's why there was a lot of blue on blue back then and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
That big-ass sandstorm or whatever I was telling Dom and Eric, that by the time we got to Al Qut and we pulled out of that sandstorm, we had Army vehicles behind us. And they just followed us into Al Qut, and it was like 2 or 3 vehicles of cooks and shit. And they had gotten lost, and they just started following our convoy through that sandstorm. And they
thought you were Army, or they just rolled?
At first they did, but then at some point they realized they weren't, but they had no comms with us.
Yeah.
So they couldn't tell us like, hey, stop.
Yeah.
And instead of turning around and going back to where they came from, they just followed us to Al Qut. And they were like, yo, we were fucking pretty much lost. And then they ended up staying the whole deployment with us.
What?
Yeah, there were a bunch of fucking cooks. And all they did was just sit in one corner of the area that we were at, and we just told them to provide security in that direction, taught them how to use their weapons, and that was it. They just did their own fucking thing after that.
Nobody came and got them?
No. I mean, I can imagine back then it wasn't like easy to go pick people up. I mean,
or had accountability of wherever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there wasn't even, we were running, Blue Force trackers and stuff when we were in. Did you guys have anything like that, or you're just looking at a map and heading on a road?
Like that vehicle in front of me in the convoy, we would hang a chem light. And that shit hypnotizes you, dog.
Yes.
You're like...
Put you to sleep.
You're like on the side, like, fuck. I'm lucky there wasn't IEDs back then, dog. I fell asleep at the wheel so many fucking times.
Dude, I mean, being a tracker, I think I was talking about it on James's podcast, but like my right side of my track, we were like 2 track blocks short. So when, but it would pull, and I mean, it'd be in the middle of the night, and you got the hum, and then you got this giant engine, it's warm, and then I fell asleep. I had every excuse too, because my lieutenant would be screaming at me. I'd be like, "My side's sappy, like it fell out." We're reading really hot on the gauges. Like but I mean, we would just whomp off into a ditch and just come back on.
You wake the fuck up. Like,
yup. Damn, man.
No MVGs either. We didn't have MVGs.
I couldn't even imagine fighting in a war like that. Did you do a second deployment, or is that it?
I did 2 more after that.
Same thing?
So the second time, I got augmented to 210, and then from 210 I got augmented 414. That was when we were low on infantrymen. That's when Fallujah was popping off, and they were mobilizing artillery units as infantry, and then they were getting people from random units to fill in spaces, and they got myself and a couple other guys. So my second deployment, I was with 414 and 210.
Really? What was that like?
It was interesting, I guess.
Oh, you got to experience some crazy shit.
I very rarely got to do my fucking MOS when I was in Iraq. Got promoted in Iraq. That was pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I got corporal in Iraq, and I got sergeant.
So did I.
That was pretty
So
cool.
did I. Yeah, I got corporal in Kuwait and sergeant in Iraq.
I was pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So then now you're a or an artilleryman, or
just infantry dude.
So you went from
Gen-
generator mechanic
Yeah.
to infantryman, not by choice. Did you volunteer or did you just voluntold?
Man, this is crazy. So, leading up to that, we had been training to do. It's not a humanitarian. I forgot what it was called, but we were going to Iraqi cultural runners classes. So we were going to be talking to sheiks.
Okay, yeah,
and helping them like redistribute power and provide help them set up a power grid.
Yep.
And so that's what we were going to be doing. And so that's all the shit I was learning. We showed up with toolboxes, multimeters, tape measures and shit. And we were in this lot, and the lot ended up emptying out. Everybody got picked up by the units. And ours, we hadn't gotten picked up by anybody, and went to the COC. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is up? And they were like, there's no record of you guys being here. And they're like, you guys aren't supposed to be here. And I was like, well, send us home. They're like, no, we know somebody who needs you. And they fucking sent us to 210.
This is over when you were deployed?
This is when we were in Iraq already. This is the second time.
So nobody even knows you're even in Iraq.
Except for our unit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But nobody, like the people there, they have no idea that you guys.
Yeah, whoever we were supposed to go to just did not
have any record of you guys.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in this lot, like stage. How many days was that? Or was it
hours,
quick?
dog? It was fucking hours. It was like the draft. You know what I mean? Like everybody was just getting picked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, but we got these toolboxes. And like, well, we got these quad cons. You can just put them away. So we put our toolboxes away and shit. And they reissued us a bunch of fucking G.I. Joe gear and shit. And then they gave us like a 5-day hip pocket class on how to be fucking
a grunt.
And then
that's about all you need.
And then that was it, man. We were doing like, we were doing patrols.
Wait. So they didn't put you in infantry units. They just made you your own infantry unit?
Oh, they put us with 414.
Okay, so you're attached to a grunt unit.
Yeah.
And so are you guys operating on your own, or you get distributed into their unit?
So our dudes stayed together, and then we had like 2 or 3 guys from 414 that would, like a sergeant and shit, and a couple other people, and then we just followed them around and did whatever the fuck they told us to do.
And you guys pushed Fallujah like this?
No, we didn't go into Fallujah. Fallujah was happening at that time.
Okay.
We were catching bad guys as they were coming out in the outskirts.
How was that?
It was interesting, stupid. I don't ever want to deploy with fucking reservists ever again. The 414 dudes were reservists.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
They never do.
They did not know what the fuck they were doing.
Never do.
Like we were driving around the desert at night with some Garmin, and then like we were supposed to be here, and dudes telling me to drive a straight fucking line. I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure there's a hole over there. You know what I mean? Like we gotta go around. He goes, no, we gotta follow the straight fucking line. I'm like, that's not how it works, dog.
Yeah, that's just the direction.
That's just the direction we gotta be in, but we gotta figure out how to get there. And it was always like that, man. A lot of fucking mistakes. I was telling Dominic that we ended up driving through a helo range that was live.
No.
Yeah, I have no idea how there's any bad guys with our helicopter. I've never been under a helicopter that's firing at fucking tanks until that day. It was like a bunch of Soviet tanks.
Yeah.
It was like an old helo range and shit, and we drove through. That shit was scary as fuck, dude.
Really?
And it was a mistake. They were like they put us, that was our mission, and we drove through there, and that whole deployment was just like that. You know what I mean? Just fucking wondering what the fuck was next, and I'm like walking down some street with a metal detector, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like,
what were you guys sweeping for?
IEDs.
Oh, so okay. So this is your second deployment?
Yeah.
Dang,
that shit was fucking nerve-wracking, man. I
bet.
I was like, whatever. Just keep doing my job, I guess, and fucking get
But
paid.
what's your job at this point? You're literally the jack of all trades. I mean,
yeah.
Dude, that is insane that you went from generator mechanic, right? Then you get tossed right into the invasion.
I'm pretty sure that happened to a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure like the lack of training showed. There was people that curled up into the field position in my first push. We had a gunny who like shot one round, which is damn near impossible to be an initial push anywhere and shoot one fucking round. You could fucking shoot more rounds into the sky. This fool shot one round out of his pistol and curled into the fucking fetal position.
Really?
Some people just aren't ready for that shit.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, my life was already tumultuous. Obviously, I wasn't ready for war, but I'd already been miserable, I guess. So like, more misery at the time was acceptable, I guess.
Okay.
Paycheck.
Dang, dude. That is fascinating to be able to talk to somebody that did the initial push, but like had experienced so many different things.
I always thought it was boring, man. I don't know, until Dom started fucking showing interest. I always thought this shit was boring as hell. Like, I didn't think anybody really cared.
See, like, because we showed up and everything's already set up. You're doing left seat, right seat with the units already there. Yeah. They line you up. Okay, here's the area that you're going to get engaged from. This is the people work with you, and they're a little bit more, accepting of us being. So, like, things are laid out for us. Like, you guys had no idea.
Bro, I was shooting my fucking rifle from my lap, dog.
What do you mean?
I was driving the first push. I was like this. When people were fucking shooting at us from the berms and shit.
Yeah.
This is how I was, dog. Like, driving like this. It's straight up how I was, like, fucking holding the steering wheel and just like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? I didn't even know. I mean, who the fuck knows where those rounds were landing, man? But what the fuck else were we supposed to do, I mean,
you don't even have a door on your Humvee and you're getting shot at?
Nah, that was crazy. I remember what song I was listening to the first time it happened. It was a Redman's song. It was like Go Nutty or some shit. I gotta listen to music while I'm driving to keep me awake. And I picked up the smoking habit while I was there because I would keep the cigarette in my mouth and the smoke rolling up into my eye would keep me awake. So I was just like chain smoking the whole time. And we're about to drive over this fucking bridge and there's a dog, the only animal I've ever seen motherfucking chained in Iraq, like corralled. He was like tied to the edge of the bridge and he started to bark. And I was like, yo, Top. I was like, that's fucking weird, man. Like, this motherfucker's barking. I was like, I never seen a dog out here like tied down to some shit. Yeah. As soon as we get over the fucking bridge, we started getting ambushed. And bro, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. There was shit in the road, and I'm fucking swerving. And I'm grabbing my freaking mast arm by the back of his flak and shit, because that fool almost flew out of the freaking Humvee. The fool was dumping out the side and shit, and I like swerved to the left, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? And he's like, just fucking drive. And we're fucking driving, and he was like, don't shoot. And I was like, fuck this. He kept telling me not to shoot the whole time. He's like, I don't want you to own a life. I was like, man, fuck this. Last time you said that, I ended up smashing some dude's face. I was like, I'd rather just shoot at people. I don't want nobody getting that fucking close to me. You know what I mean? So I was just dumping as I was driving from my fucking hip right here, like on my
dude.
It's like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Like, and just fucking made it to where we had to go. Did a fucking wagon wheel. Checked everybody. All the dudes that were all hyped about war were fucking crying.
Yeah.
That was our first ambush, and motherfuckers were praying and shit. It was a crazy thing. Like, you'd walk over to the vehicles, and there was, like, people just in circles fucking crying and praying and stuff. Like, it had been their first time that they'd ever, like, they didn't think that was going to happen. Like, they were in more denial than I was. You know, like, they were like, nah.
That is wild, man.
Fucking crying and shit. And
that's wild chaos.
Yeah, I didn't even know how I felt at the time, but I was, like, fucking amped. I was adrenaline going and stuff, you know, and at the time it felt
but
good.
you had a different childhood too. I mean, you'd already been through some shit and, kind of experienced a little bit of life versus some kid from like Nebraska that thought he was going to just go and join the military and do 4 years and get out. And now he's getting ambushed in soft-shelled Humvees.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Mean, that is insane. So you guys didn't have any rules of engagement or anything, right?
Well, we got rules of engagement. Our rules of engagement were to fucking run over everybody that was in your way.
Really?
The stuff that we had was mission essential, and we couldn't stop for anybody. And at the time, they were throwing kids in front of us to get us to stop.
Oh, shit.
And then we would stop, and then they would fucking light us up and shit. So we would just straight drive. It was like a non-stop drive to get these supplies to wherever they had to be. And that's during that drive is when Doc's freaking platoon saved my ass.
That's right.
Yo, I wouldn't be here. Everything I just described to you, there's absolutely no fucking way we would have survived an L-shaped ambush. All people needed was a little more organization, and they would have freaking got, I feel the majority of our vehicles would have got fucked up. And I think like 25% of the people that were there were just not ready for that shit. And so, you know what I mean? You start averaging out some motherfuckers that are actually more trained and pissed off, thinking that you're invading them and shit.
Yeah.
And they're literally fucking, we just watched Doc's fucking platoon just fuck those people up from far away.
So for people listening, Doc is one of our reps for Wishes for Warriors, and you guys met on a trip, which we actually have the podcast, which we recorded, but you guys, we're going to have to get both of you guys on to tell that story again. But yeah, Doc's a rep, and he was on another trip that you were on, and you guys started putting the pieces together that you were there during that push, that ambush moment, and their unit ended up kind of coming through clutch at the last minute.
That was crazy, dude.
So let's go through that. So let's fill the listeners in on that. While you're getting ambushed, how Doc's unit came in and kind of saved you guys' ass.
So we weren't getting ambushed yet.
Yeah, yep.
So we were driving, and then we get a call telling us, like, if there's any units in this area, they're like, stop. You're about to roll into a fucking L-shaped ambush. And they were like, set up a perimeter and just catch anybody who's running away and shit. And so we listened to what they said. I mean, it was like, that shit happened. We set up our perimeter, and then, like, they were like, we did, I don't know what the fuck the call sign was and shit. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, we did the shit, you know? And as soon as they said that, bro, it was like, you just see the fucking sky light up and rockets flying everywhere, and you just seeing motherfuckers get destroyed. It was nighttime, so all you could see was just like shit popping off, and I don't even know how long it lasted for. Then it got quiet, and they're like, all right, cool, you're clear to go through. And man, we walked through that shit, dog. We drove through that shit. It was fucking mayhem.
Really?
Yeah, there was just fucking people everywhere. Dead people everywhere. They were going to kill us.
Really? So they had you guys dialed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we wouldn't have survived that.
And that was Doc's unit that found him and went in there?
Yeah, and that's crazy because, like, when I think about it, and I hold my son, my second son, he would have never been born, which is
wild,
fucking insane, dog. And I just never got to meet that guy. I just, until this one of the trips with Wishes. And I was listening to him talk, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was fucking there. You saved my ass.
Crazy, dude.
Small world in the Marine Corps, I guess.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
How many people are connected and through everything. And so, man, I don't even know. You got so many crazy stories. This is awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and it's weird your perspective on your time. You don't think it was as cool, and then we look back on the OG guys and we're like, man, you guys had it wild. Like I was saying earlier about the whole mop suit thing. It's like we would always hear these stories, and I'm like, no, like absolutely. I'd have been that guy. I'm like, I don't care, I'll die. Like the 40 days, 60 days in a mob suit, like that sounded like hell. So it's fascinating to get different perspectives of during time of the evolution of Iraq. You
guys are under the public eye a lot more,
for sure.
And I guess that's why I kind of saw it as something that was a lot more difficult to do.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like the hardship's all there. We all experience hardship, but my reasoning behind it being harder for you guys is like the media, the way they portray you guys.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask about your rules of engagement, because I mean, like our second deployment, if somebody ran a checkpoint, you had to like wave a flag at them, shoot a pen flare, pop a star cluster, 3 warning shots, and then it was shots through, through the windshield or whatever. And like there's none of that shit when you guys were there. I mean, you were just mowing through people.
Yeah. It was literally, you guys got to get to this shit. It doesn't matter who the fuck is in front of you. Just get there.
What's that like then? Like, I mean, what does that do to your, like, how do you process that?
At first, you're like, this is what I got to do. And I believed in what I was doing, and I figured that shit was justifiable, Yeah. And then you start talking to other people on your deployments, and since I was a vehicle in front, I kind of really wasn't seeing if I was hitting motherfuckers and shit, especially on the right side. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people that I've talked to have been that were in that convoy, they remember my vehicle as the one who was fucking mowing motherfuckers down.
Really?
So I ended up finding out later on that I actually like ran people over and shit. Like,
really?
That shit felt kind of weird. It feels weird, like later on, And in the moment, it wasn't like I was like, yeah, fucking, I gotta kill.
The mission, yeah.
Just going through the motions, doing your job and shit, and then after everything is said and done, and you're kind of like, fuck, I kind of did something like that, you know what I mean? And it kind of just starts weighing heavy. Then the further away you get from your buddies, right, and you start getting into like normal life, it starts weighing heavier on you and stuff, So that's kind of like why the first push I was just always like, I don't know, I didn't think it was that serious, and also we fucking lost. You know what I mean? Like the first push, we thought we won and we left, we came home victorious, man, and find out that we fucking lost. That shit was whack,
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, I just figured you guys were doing a better job than we were.
No, we just had a lot of guys like you that paved the way for us, that figured it out the hard way.
Yeah.
Discovering what IEDs were. I mean, remember that was nobody even knew what the hell happened for a while,
Those fools were putting fucking grenades behind propaganda flyers. Because they knew we would rip them off. Yeah, and they would fucking blow people up like that and shit.
Really?
Yeah, they were little sneaky bastards.
Were you the era where they were putting like piano wire across roads and they were catching dudes in turrets and stuff? Because I remember hearing stories about that.
Yeah. That was the first push. You heard about that shit, and fucking nobody wanted to get on a turret.
Yeah.
You're like,
Because then they came out with the rod that like held up and has a little almost wedge on it because the guys were getting decapitated.
That's fucking wild, man. I never experienced that, but we heard about it, and that shit freaked all of us out. You know
for sure. Every time you'd go under a bridge or anything, everybody was always watching.
And some of the turrets weren't like turrets. There was like your canvas was off, and you're just leaning on your high back and shit. You know what I mean? With your fucking saw or some shit, yo.
God, dude. I didn't even think of that. You guys weren't even in turrets. You just had a T&E with, what, a 50 cal mounted to it?
Yeah.
I mean, what were you guys even rolling then? You had the Mod Deuce and the Mark 19s? Or were you just running?
Mark 19s and 240s, and then fucking, none of us knew how to fucking use a 50 cal at the time. You know what I mean? So, like, we didn't have a 50 cal, but we had a couple of 240s and a couple of Mark 19s. Then everything else was pistols and
ARs.
Shitty-ass fucking rifles.
You were running, like, old school M16s then, huh?
Yeah.
The big, heavy...
My fucking
Did you have a handle on yours?
It fell off, dude. With the pistol grip. Oh. we were like trying to like run away and shit. I grabbed my shit to run away, and my fucking rifle fell off, and I'm just holding the pistol grip, dog. And then the interior of the fucking trigger assembly was everywhere and shit. Yeah, I didn't have a gun for like a day.
Oh my god!
Just take off running and shit.
Gathering it up before you take off.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that is insane. But like. So you do 2 deployments and you came back and did a third, right? Mm-hmm. What was that one like? What year was that?
The third one, I got out. It had to be in 2007. It was when Ramadi was getting.
What unit were you with?
I ended up with a transportation company from. It was 2-something from Lejeune.
Okay.
And I got augmented to them. This is crazy as fuck. So. I didn't want to go to Iraq the third time.
Don't blame me. I have your experience.
Yeah.
I would be trying to opt out too.
I honestly did not want to go. And then my staff NCO was like, man, it's going to be easy, bro. Like, he's like, I'll put you in the S4. You can just chill, man. You know what I mean? Like, we just want you there because the Marines fucking respect you. And, like, you can get the job done. And he was like, all you're going to be doing is just fucking delivering toilet paper to fucking Porta Johns and shit. Like, you're going to be in charge. I was like, man, that's easy, bro. Like, I'll fucking do that, dog.
Yeah.
I was just picturing like fucking Dubai. Not Dubai, but Qatar, you know, like Libo and shit, you know what I mean? Yep. And I get there and I end up fucking pissing off one of the staff NCOs. This is a stupid story, all right? I fucking pulled my butt cheek when I was in Iraq the third time. So I'm in medical
like strained your butt cheek?
Yeah, like I strained it fucking, I was just running. I was fucking trying to stay in shape, whatever. I was an idiot. Dehydrated, I guess. I don't know, but
you pulled the butt cheek.
Yeah, I pulled the butt cheek. Okay. I'm getting my shit massaged by the fucking corpsman chicks in freaking Iraq, and in walks the staff NCO that's freaking having an affair with her, and he was my staff NCO.
No.
He looks at me and he just fucking walks out, and I was like, whatever. Goes. Next thing you know, bro, he's knocking at my freaking door, and he's like, hey, you're going to Ramadi for 3 days. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, what the fuck is in Ramadi? And he was like, you're just gonna set up power for a transportation unit, and then we're going to bring you back on day 3. And so I was like, all right, cool. But I didn't trust him, so I packed all my shit, and I ended up being in Ramadi for the rest of my fucking deployment.
This motherfucker sent you off?
Yeah.
Because he's having an affair with the corpsman.
And he thought that I was freaking...
Were you?
No, hell no. No.
I gotta ask.
I swear to you, I wasn't, dude. I was too fucking miserable out there for that shit, man. Like, half the time I couldn't even fucking get it up, dog. Jerk off, man. I'm just fucking over it. But anyway, sorry.
Nah, you're good.
But yeah, so I get to Ramadi, man, and that shit was just something else, dude.
What year were you in Ramadi?
It was either like
7.
Yeah, it was like somewhere in between 2005 and 2007.
You weren't there with 2-4?
It was 2-something, and it was like, but it was a transportation unit.
Okay.
And then what we were doing is they were, and then I ended up doing it because I had no other job. After I showed up and I set up power for them, I had nothing else to do. So then I started being an A driver for them, and then we were picking up Iraqi police at BIOP.
Wait, so you did it in 3 days. You're done. You did everything, and you just hang around for a couple days, and were like, hey, I'm just here, or did you wait for a job? Like, no, you couldn't be like, hey, can you guys come get me?
Like I woke up and I went to I couldn't call my unit. I didn't know how to fucking do that. So I show up to the COC that I had set up, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, is everything good? Can I go back? And they were like, no. Like, you're here. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do then? You know what I mean? Like, they're like, you're just here. And I was like, give me a job then, because I'm just sitting in a tent, you know, in Ramadi. So then I started freaking being an A driver for them.
Really?
And yeah, and then we were picking up Iraqi police at BIOP, and dropping them off in fobs.
What was that like?
That was crazy, man.
Because those dudes are sketch.
Those are just sketch, and they're scared shitless. And and then at that time, nobody was really like ambushing us, but people would take pop shots at your vehicles and shit when you're like driving by or whatever, and fucking.
And you're in armored vehicles at this point.
They're sorta metal doors.
Okay.
But you still have like it's like that metal door that has like the little
zipper.
Not even a zipper. It's just like this part right here. There's nothing here, but it's just like from here on down is like metal.
Okay.
You know, and then you just fucking open. It's not even heavy and shit. I guess it's just to protect your face. But we had those.
Damn, so you went through like the evolution of this war.
Yeah.
From the very first day to now you're 7 years later.
Yeah.
Or no. Yeah, 5 years later or so, 6 years later, or 4 or 5 years later. But math marine or marine for math for Marines. I never did those.
I can't even figure out when I deployed, dog. So
oh, dude, I know. I can't ever remember the dates. My wife will ask me stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. Like
somewhere in between this time frame, it happened. That's all I always say.
So you just jump in with this unit and you just start rolling with them.
Yeah, and then we just started fucking. I had nothing else to do, and I didn't want to sit around, so I just started freaking passing out those flyers, the ones that are like, if you guys are here tomorrow, shit, you know what I mean. So that was 4th of July. So the 2nd of July, we passed out a bunch of flyers. 3rd of July, passed out a bunch of flyers. Then 4th of July, we're delivering Iraqi police in Ramadi. So that was when, that's how I remember it. That's how when, like, whatever year that we were having a fucking serious conflict in Ramadi. Like, there was a hospital in there that was
there was a lot. There was
overrun and shit.
2007.
Yeah, it was 2007. And that shit was... Dude, that shit was wild as fuck, man. Driving down these little tiny-ass alleys.
Little roads.
And then we had to get out of the vehicles, and we had to grab, like, these sticks and lift up power lines to get underneath the power lines to freaking deliver supplies and shit. That shit was insane, dude. And then what's even fucking crazier about that is the dude that I'm with, I don't fucking know him. And then we started taking, like, indirect fire a little further behind us. And then so he got scared, and he freaking speeds away. He's a sergeant, and the Marines that are in the vehicles behind us are his Marines.
Are you a sergeant at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he freaking parks next to, like, a bunch of tanks and shit, and he's like, I'm not moving from here. He's like, fuck this. He's like, I'm fucking done. And I was like, bro, where the fuck are the rest of your Marines at? And he's like, I don't care. He's like,
really?
I'm sitting in here, and his name was Castro, bitch, sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, anyway, you can bleep that out later. But this motherfucker was like, he was like, I'm not going out there, dude. And I was like, yo, don't fucking leave me. And I was like, I'm just going to walk around the corner, and I'm going to go fucking see if I can bring our dudes, you know?
You guys are in like...
In Ramadi, bro.
In Ramadi? And you're just walking by yourself?
Yeah, I'm fucking in a fucking flight suit, all right? Because I was too lazy to put my camis on. I'm in a flight suit with a flak jacket, and I have, like, 2 magazines and my rifle, bro.
You're just cruising Ramadi.
Yeah, I was like, look, I'm going to go get them real quick. And I was like, I'll fucking be right back. And I got lost. Fucking Franklin is lost, and I was like, my fucking watch is going off and shit's beeping and stuff. It got super fucking quiet, bro.
Is this at night?
This is at night. And I was like, dude, I need to find some grunts. I was like, I'm fucking lost. I was like, I need to find some fucking grunts, dude.
You're in a flight suit.
Yeah, and off in the distance, I see a bunch of dudes doing some shit, and I was so scared to approach them, man. I was like, these fools are gonna fuck me up. I could tell they were like Marines or Army, and I was like,
so you could tell they were us.
yeah, and I was like, man. So I kind of like laid down on the curb, and I tried to look like trash. I saw those fools go that way, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go that way. I waited a little bit. I followed them. And then eventually...
Were they on foot or in vehicle?
Foot.
Okay.
And then I ended up rolling up. I saw these fucking Humvees posted like this, and like this. And there was dudes. And I just held my rifle up, had my ID in my hand, and I was like, yo, I'm fucking lost. I was like, bro, don't shoot me, dog. And they were like, what the fuck? They're like, how the fuck did you get out here? They're like, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck away from us. They're like... I was like, yo, where are the tanks at, bro? Because I parked my fucking car over there, and I was like, I need to get back to my fucking people and shit. And I was like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at. And they just chewed my ass and shit. They're a bunch of fucking corporals, man. I gotta love them for it. And they're like, fuck you, Sergeant. What the fuck you doing out here? Kept walking.
Oh, my God.
And I find my Marines, or his Marines, and they had no room for me in the fucking vehicle, so I had to walk in front of the vehicle and escort those vehicles all the way to where we had to fucking be, dog. That was such a fucking stressful night. And then we fucking pull into this fucking compound with this dick that I had to fucking drive with. And I just could not stand being in the vehicle with him. I couldn't see shit. We were behind these tall ass fucking walls, you know? And so like it was one of those vehicles that looks like a frog. It has articulated steering. it's not a, it's an AAV.
I was a tracker. It was a tractor to have wheels.
It had 8 wheels, and in the front of it looks like a fucking frog. You know what I mean? It's shaped like this, and then it like has articulated steering. It's not an AAV.
Does it break in the middle?
Yeah.
Oh, those were those old school, like they would use them for like refueling and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like it had like a little like hatch. I fucking crawl my ass out the hatch because I wanted to see what was going on over the fence and shit. And motherfucking didn't know there was a tank in front of me, and it fucking shot around.
No.
And I freaking got launched, bro.
No.
And that's how I fucked my neck up.
Really?
Yeah, I ended up getting launched from the fucking vehicle, and I ended up doing a fucking face plant in the fucking ground off of that shit. And then
Those are pretty tall. They're, what, 12, 13 feet
yeah,
tall?
bro. And I fucking couldn't feel the side of my face and shit. And then I just had neck pain in my neck forever. And then I ended up finding out that I fractured my neck when that shit happened.
Wait. So you climb out of this vehicle, and there's an Abrams parked in front of you?
I don't know what kind of tank it was, but it was a tank. I didn't check the license plate, bro. But we were like this. And I didn't see it, dog, and that shit just shot fucking around, man.
Yeah. I mean, that'll suck the air out of your lungs when you're near I mean, there's nothing. You can't describe the pure. I mean, you can't because you went through it, but like I've been behind like Abrams when they've fired the main gun, and it like sucks the soul out of your body.
That's what I was gonna say. It felt like somebody kicked my soul out, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, yo, I'm in the fucking sky. And I was like, what the and then just hit the ground and shit. And now I'm even more miserable, man. And I was like, well, this dude parked in front of another fucking tank. I didn't even know, dog. And I get in the vehicle.
How'd you not beat this dude's ass?
I wanted to so bad, dog.
Yeah,
he was the only driver there and shit. But that's how I fucking got that injury and shit. And that was on the 4th of July. And that's like that's the way I remember that day.
Yeah.
That's the day that it was just fucking sheer chaos.
I feel like you have so many stories.
A lot of us do, man. We just fucking think that nobody really cares to listen.
Oh, we care. We care. You know? That's why I had to have you.
It's a lot of mundane shit too. I'm pretty sure you always hear about.
I mean,
that
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, there's always those times, but then when that stuff pops off, it's like that's what makes it not enjoyable at the time. But you could look back and laugh at it and be like, holy shit.
That's the beauty of Marines, bro. Like we never stop trying. I mean, whatever it is that we're doing, you can call us everybody's a rifleman or not, or that argument or whatever. But the one thing about Marines is, no matter how fucking miserable we are, we never stop fucking trying.
Or fucking around, or trying to make the best out of it.
Yeah, we make the best out of fucking everything, and then we just keep on fucking going. Like, if we fall forward.
Yep.
We don't fall back and shit. And that's one of the things I feel that, like, has kept me around, I guess.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with it? I had some guys reach out and some listeners, and one of the big questions is like, after going through all that bullshit, like, how did, these are other vets that are asking, and I'm going to ask Dom when we get him back on for the next part of it, but how was it dealing with like the mental stress or the mental dealing with this, like coping with the PTSD? And I mean, because like, dude, you went through so many different phases of this war.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you get back, you realize you shattered your neck by an Abrams tank blowing you off the top of your vehicle, which, I mean, people probably just listen and be like, oh man, that sounds wild, but like you can't describe the power of a main gun. Like
especially if you don't know it's there.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know it was there or if it was gonna shoot around. I didn't fucking know anything. I'm just like, dog, I'm just gonna go look over this fence real quick. You know what I mean? Like, next thing you know, you're like, fuck. You're on the ground and shit. I had never been in front of or by a tank that shot around ever.
Yeah.
In my entire life.
Yeah, and you'll never forget it either.
No, I will not. I'm dealing with that shit. I mean, obviously, I didn't deal with it. I ended up fucking having to get medically discharged.
Really?
And a lot of it had to do, I think, like the unit that I was at. So whenever I would come back, I'd get put with, a normal unit that like generator mechanics or whatever, And
did you feel at home with those guys or
never,
no?
dog, never, man. They ostracized me. The first unit I checked into, they saw that I had a combat action ribbon and they tried to make me take it off.
Really?
They're like, there's no way. They're like, there's no way you have that. And then fucking one of the dudes had to pull it up on 3270 and shit. You know what I mean? So, like, all the old heads there, they're looking at you like, fuck this dude. You know?
They've never accomplished anything like you did.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like just trying to get by. You're like, you know what I mean? And I thought I was showing back up to like a supportive group. And I was like, y'all the ones who sent me over there. You could have gone yourself. And now you're mad at me because
did some shit.
I did some shit that was fucking commendable, I guess. You know what I mean? And so
how'd that feel?
that's why I ended up having to get out, dog. I was like ashamed, bro. I was like already ashamed of what I had done. Yeah. And then the units that I was at, they weren't like treating us, not like anybody has to treat us like heroes, but might just be like accepted, yeah. Yeah, and they just weren't, dog. Our leadership styles were totally different. You know, like when you're, like I didn't go to corporal's course. I picked up corporal in the first push, and I didn't go to sergeant's course. I picked up sergeant in my second deployment. So like my methodology of fucking leadership was way different.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and
you didn't have to be taught how to be a leader. You just learned it from real world experiences of trying to survive.
And they just didn't like me, man. And I feel like the last unit that I was with was 373 on Miramar. It's probably one of the worst units I've ever been to in my fucking life.
Why is that? Because that's a reserve unit too, right?
No, that's just a regular unit on Miramar.
Oh, okay.
And it's, dog, they you show up, none of them have seen anything. The entire unit itself has not seen anything like that. And the thing about me is the units that I was with couldn't deploy as a unit, so that's why we were always getting augmented to other units.
Yeah, because you're almost going as a platoon or like a section.
Yeah, like
deploy you guys.
It was like 5 people getting augmented to,
because they don't need a whole platoon of mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and so like now you have 373, which is just not going to deploy that entire unit and do shit like that. You know what I mean? And their deployment experience is so plush. They got like fucking
AC rooms and shit.
And like they have like salsa night and shit, you know what I mean? So like I get to that unit and man, I had already started my like downhill spiral. I was drinking a lot. And then I just was not getting along with any of those people. And then my memory started to slip.
Really?
You know? And that was before like we knew that PTSD
was a thing
and shit. And then so like I needed to occupy my time. So I started playing ball for the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And stuff. And then I got a concussion, and then they freaking, they monitored me for like 5 months, and then they're like, why are you freaking...
How'd you get a concussion?
Just fucking 250-pound fullback.
Oh.
I was a safety.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a TBI. It was just like a concussion, and then it put me in the system.
Okay.
Right? And so they started checking me out, and they thought I was faking something because my symptoms, the PTSD symptoms, are very similar to a concussion, right? Mm-hmm. And so they thought that I was faking something. They started to send me to these people to talk, and they started asking me questions and trying to get me to like slip up. And I was like, I don't even know what PTSD is at this time, you know what I mean? And I was just fucking getting checked up for a concussion, and this lady started to antagonize the fuck out of me.
How?
She was like, I forgot what she was saying, man. I thought I was going in for my head, and she started asking me about my mental state.
Okay.
And then she was like, do you feel like killing yourself? You feel like hurting others? And then she was like, and I'd be like, no. And then she'd be like, well, then why are you displaying these symptoms? You know, and I would be like, I don't fucking know. And then she just kept fucking with me, and I lost my fucking temper, and I tried to punch her in the face.
Really?
Yeah. I fucking slipped, and I like pushed the fucking table against her and shit, and I was just like, fuck, dude. I was like, I'm sorry. And then she apologized to me, and she explained to me that those questions were to catch fucking fakers, I guess, malingers, those questions that she was asking me. And she like apologized and stuff, and then that began my journey, man. They fucking sent me to psych, and then they fucking took my rifle card away, and then that was it, man. I fucking began my journey out of the Marine Corps.
Damn, dude.
It was fucking sad, dude.
What'd that do to your freaking mental health now that you're taking the last, like, they did this to you? Like, you didn't choose this, and you know, and then you get that, and then now all of a sudden you got the whole rug pulled out from underneath you. How'd that feel?
It fucking sucked, dude. Those motherfuckers treated me like shit, man.
Yeah.
They cause they just didn't understand. I didn't even I retired. I didn't even get a fucking flag.
Damn, dude.
I stole the couch out of my fucking office. I was like, this is my retirement flag, because they didn't give me a fucking ceremony. They didn't acknowledge anything.
You're not in a combat unit. How many guys had a combat action that you were dealing with? Any?
One other guy. So
you guys were looked at. That's so wild that you guys were treated like that.
He was in the first push too. He was a generator mechanic in the first push, and so he had, he became a drill instructor, and then he got fucking in trouble being a DI. Then he ended up showing up to that unit, and we both had issues, but we didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And so I got put on, what is it, med hold? Not med hold. Light duty, limited duty?
Yeah, limited duty.
One of those or whatever. And on there, you can't fucking you can't like do duty in that, and they can't open your file and see why. And then they see an able-bodied person, and they don't understand that, like.
So they think you're some malingerer.
Yeah, bro, I was so on edge that I always rolled strapped. Like, really? I always had my fucking 45 on me, like, to the point where, like, a car startled me one time, and I fucking shot the car up. Like, alarms like go off on accident and shit. Bugged me the fuck out, you know what I mean? And I just opened fire.
I mean, dude, you're the first initial guys. Like, they don't even know how to treat.
Yeah, I was
handle you yet.
I was fucking bugging out, man, and these people didn't fucking understand me, and they tried to put me on duty one time, and then they held me in front of 300 people and started chewing my ass because I was like, dude, I'm on limited duty, and they were like calling me a malingerer and shit. Yeah. And then I called my chief warrant officer. At some point, you're getting ass chewed. You're just like, fuck it. And I called my chief warrant officer. I was like, yo, these fools are tripping. And I didn't say it like that. I was like, they're chewing me out, and they're trying to get me to do fucking duty, and they won't listen to the orders in my fucking shit. And then he was like, put it on speaker. And I was like, all right. And he's like, is Gunny so-and-so there? And he's like, yeah, I'm right here, sir. And he starts explaining how fucking horrible of a Marine I am. And then he's like, lock your fucking body. He's like, Quiros, is his body locked? I was like, yeah. And he starts fucking chewing this guy out over the phone.
Really?
Right? Yeah, in front of the whole...
He made him stand at attention?
Yeah, I was like, he's standing at attention, sir. And he starts chewing his ass off, bro. And he's like, you leave my fucking Marine the fuck alone and shit. Like, he's like, do not make me fucking come back here and fucking speak to you ever again on this. And so then that was the remain behind element. That chief warrant officer, they fucking deployed. And my last days in the Marine Corps showed up, and, like, I didn't even fucking...
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything. I mean, I hadn't deployed with those guys.
And you did 4 years?
I did 9 years.
You did 9 years, and they just, like, you didn't even exist.
Yeah. There was
Dude, that's got to crush your freaking soul doing that alone.
So I ate a lot of food in the soda mess the last day, and I fucking stole my couch in my office.
And that was it?
That was my retirement.
That's how you got out?
That's how I got out, yeah.
I hate to say it. That's such a Marine Corps thing, though. I always say that on this podcast, but, like, people don't understand. Like, that's just, you hear this. So then you get out, man, and then what? I mean, were you going to career it? Did you plan on careering it?
I was thinking about it. I mean, that was my first job ever.
Yeah.
Marine Corps was like my
life.
My life, dog.
Your identity.
I had never paid bills. I had never
functioned as a normal human outside of the military.
And next thing you know, I got fired. It's like pretty much I got fired and stuff, and I kind of like wilded out for a little bit, man. I just started getting myself into a lot of trouble.
Partying?
Not necessarily partying, like fights and shit. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really much of a partier, and at the time I didn't have a lot of money, so I started fucking getting into more trouble. And I was like, fuck this, man. I can't set this example for my kids. After just like setting up this the military stuff, like this is something that I can show them that I did, and I'm about to fuck it up. So then I was like, I gotta go to school. So I tried to go to school, and I freaked out. So then I went back to therapy, and then I went back to school, and I got my degree. And along the way, I freaking got full custody of my kids and shit. And
good for you, dude.
Here I am talking to you. There's a lot more stuff that happened along the way, but whatever. But just got myself in trouble, and before I got myself in too much trouble, I fucking stopped. Went to therapy, and I cannot advocate that shit enough, dude. Like,
why?
Because, man, like, you're talking to somebody who deals with this shit on a regular basis, and they end up becoming this voice of reason. I ended up, except for like one of my therapists, I ended up getting really close to all my therapists because they fucking helped me. That exposure therapy shit fucked me up.
As in how?
They had me, so exposure therapy is supposed to expose you to what you experience so it doesn't freak you out anymore. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that happen in the first push that I morally that doesn't sit right with me.
For sure.
And then so when I was going through that shit, trying to like come to terms with that, so you have to sit there and you have to explain what it is that fucked you up. And then you record it and you go home, you have to listen to it every day. And so like, I was thinking to myself, like, I feel, this is my morality. Like, I feel that what I did something that was out of line and incorrect. And if I sit there and become desensitized to it, then I feel like I'm starting another problem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like, that shit just ended up fucking me up. It ended up making me relive. I still have that recording at home. That shit just...
When's the last time you listened to it?
Probably like 6 years ago.
Yeah. 6
or 7 years ago, probably.
Why do you hang on to it? Are you ever going to listen to it again?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. It's a reminder.
Pretty deep, though.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? And so I went through that shit, and then I ended up fucking school up because of it, because I just freaked out. And then I, like, dropped off the face of the earth for a while. I just tossed my phone away, and it was just my boys and I wasn't driving. We were just walking everywhere. I lived pretty close to a grocery store, and then that wasn't enough, so I just fucking went back to therapy, told them I didn't want to do exposure, and then I got my mind right, dude. That shit was extremely. I wouldn't have been able to do it without a therapist.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have parents, dude. Like, I don't really stay in touch with my family. I don't have people like that I can go, other than you guys, that I can go and like talk to and be like, this is what happened to me. You know what I mean? And oh, it's okay, man. You know, that hug you get from your family and shit. You know, I never got that. So I found that in my therapists in the VA. And like, fucking, I had some pretty decent experiences with them.
Good.
And one of them, like, I can text her when I'm freaking out.
Really?
I'm like, I text her and I'm bugging out, and she'll like walk me through it and shit. And if I have to call her, she'll.
Is she still a therapist, or she moved on?
She's still a therapist.
Okay, cool.
And she like, dog, she'll like, she's not even getting paid by the VA anymore. And I can text her and I can be like, I'm having a little bit of issues right now. She'll fucking walk me through it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. How's it been now? I mean, since you've had some time to heal and gone reflect on everything. I mean,
doing a hell of a lot better, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, we fall forward. You know what I mean? I got my degree, man. I can't complain. I got my degree, and I'm right now in the process of applying for a master's program.
I was there for that, dude.
Yeah. That shit meant so much, man.
Yeah.
Nobody else showed up, man.
We got you.
Yeah, you guys showed up, dude. Like,
we got you.
Nobody showed up to my graduation, but y'all, man. It fucking meant so much to me.
Yeah.
I was like I finally did it, bro. Like, I finished. Like, I fucking.
It had to feel pretty good to walk that stage, and
yeah,
and especially everything, you know, going from your background and family history and childhood, and then to walk that stage, you know, and get your diploma. So
that's what I want my kids to know about me.
Yeah, is that
like this, and that's the example I want them to follow. I'm stoked.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it might not be our proudest moments in the military, but it's still a moment, you know, that I'd like to actually know I'm going to ask you a question on this one. It might be, you know, personal or whatever, but our political environment that we're in now, and in the situation, and knowing what we know now about Iraq and Afghan and stuff, what's your take? I mean, how do you feel overall? Do you feel like we did the right thing? Would you do it again? I mean, what's your opinion on where we're at now? Would you let your sons join the military? We'll start with that one.
I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't scared, man. My son's 20, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine if he would have gone to the same war I went to, and he would have got fucked up too.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the war now.
Yeah, and so at the time that we were doing it, I truly and honestly believed in what we were doing.
For sure.
And I would never change those experiences, but I can't help but feel duped sometimes.
100%, man.
You know what I mean? I can't help but feel duped, because sometimes people will ask me, like, what were you doing out there? And I don't know how to.
How do you answer it?
How do I answer it other than having my friends back?
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to my superiors and having my friends back, and that's pretty much like the most solid explanation I can give to people. As far as like the political shit was concerned, like what I told myself is I'm never gonna vote for my boss.
Yeah.
So whoever is, and that's what for me is being a Marine. I'm not gonna question, even if it was somebody that I don't align with politically. You know what I mean? Like, he's my boss, and this is just it is what it is. I signed that contract and shit. You know what I mean? So. I feel weird sometimes, you know what I mean?
I feel that that's the best way, is we feel duped for sure, you know, because like we fell for the 9/11 shit, you know, knowing what we know now. I mean, I know people will probably question me on that, but I'm a tin hat conspiracy person for sure. But it's like we were never I don't know about you, but we were never searching for weapons of mass destruction ever. And then they would be like, well, it's hearts and minds. And I look back at it now, it's like, well, if it's hearts and minds, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, what are we doing here? Like, no shit, these people hate us. I would hate anybody that's in our country driving around like they own the place, fucking everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kids.
Yeah.
With war machines, just driving through buildings and homes and blowing shit up, like, and thinking it was the greatest thing ever because we're helping.
You know how pissed we were, dog? Hangar after hangar, finding hangars full of gas masks. I was like, there's no way these motherfuckers are dropping gas on us.
They're all here.
There was just piles, dog, as tall as this fucking light. Piles of just gas masks. Motherfuckers were just taking them home. Just freaking collecting them and shit. You know, like, I don't want none of that stuff.
You didn't bring home any cool souvenirs?
I brought home, so...
Careful what you say, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some cool souvenirs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you that later.
We got some money and some other things. I mean, I got to bring home some cool stuff.
Yeah, the 10,000 dinar.
Yeah.
Fucking rich, dog.
Bro, how cool. I mean, when we were there, we would have these wads of money of dinar. I mean, dude, you're playing spades. Like, you're just throwing down like $1 million in dinar. I mean, just literally bundles of just cash everywhere.
Imagine if that shit would have kept its fucking value.
Oh, dude, none of us would be. I wouldn't be sitting here. That's for sure. I'd be fucking in the Bahamas somewhere.
Motherfuckers were coming home with suitcases.
Suitcases. Good dudes were packing sea bags.
Yeah, I just told myself I'm gonna have 10, so I had 10 grand fucking dollar bills.
Yep.
And then see what bills. I see what the fuck happens. Nothing happens.
Nothing ever happened.
Negative.
Yeah, right.
Nostalgia, I guess.
You got to pay to have it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you coming on and telling some stories, and we'll have to have you and Doc back on. But I appreciate you paving the way for us and kind of being the initial guys, the kind of the literally paved the way for us next generations to come after you guys. I mean, I couldn't even imagine the shit you guys had to go through and the lack of information and intel and just pure
will, dog.
Yeah.
Just go. We believed in what we were doing. You know what I mean? That's just, I listened to one of the podcasts that you did, and I think his name was, I forgot what his name was. He was a tanker.
Yeah, James Nash.
Yeah, and something that he said, man, or I forgot what one of you guys said. It was, you have 20 Marines, bro, and you give them what they need to accomplish the mission. They'll get fucking anything done,
Fuck
dog.
everything up.
Even if they don't know what the fuck's going on.
I have no idea. And people can't. So, you know, you've dealt with Britt, with my wife, because she's like mama bear for the organization. But I'm going to have her on. It's going to be, we're going to probably do a bunch of them together. But you ask her right now, you're like, what branch, if you ever can do and have anybody to do anything, she'll be like, Marines. 100% Marines. She's like, I don't know what it is about you guys. She's like, I can't ever put a finger on what it is. But she's like, if anything ever needs to be done, you ever need somebody to have your back, to be trusted. But then they say, you know, you can trust a Marine with your life, but not your wife. And just remember that one.
No
but, you know, and there's just something that separates the mindset. And so, like, I've been asked, you know, and I like to ask the question, if, you know, would you do it again? And it's a tough one for me to ask, because I have that in the back of my head, like, we got duped. You know, like we got lied to 100%. They knew there was no weapons. They know what's going on. It's war, and we see what's happening now. But at the same time, it's like, fuck, like, that was the greatest time of my life.
Yeah.
Greatest time. Some of my best friends to this day, like, they can call me in the middle of the night. Like, they just murdered somebody, and I'm on the way.
Can I say something else you can edit out if you
No, yeah.
Did you ever watch? So after that shit, there was a 60 Minutes, and it was on the guy who was Saddam's like escort. He was like an FBI agent,
Okay.
or whatever. And so this is after Saddam got executed or whatever the fuck happened. Yeah. So
I was in Iraq for that when they hung him.
That's crazy as shit. So they interviewed that guy, and they were like, you know, what was the deal with him? And he said that Saddam was telling him, and I don't know if this is true, but this is on 60 Minutes, and he said that Saddam was telling him that the only reason why he said he had weapons of mass destruction was to keep everybody out of Iraq, right? And then he, behind closed doors, told Bush, he was like, yo, dude, I don't have shit, but I'm going to keep on announcing that I do, and I'm going to pretend like I'm going against you guys. And he's like, are we cool? And then they were like, yeah, you're cool. He's like, I'm still going to let you guys come inspect and come check this shit out.
I believe it, dude. It's
And
all
so-
CIA shit.
He's like, I'm still going to let you guys come check this shit out. And he was like, but I'm just going to pretend and say that you guys didn't. And so he did that, right? And then he was like, fuck you guys, acting all hard. And then we declared war on him. And
Then they pulled the Dave Chappelle, like, yeah, gotcha, bitch.
yeah. I mean, so I don't know if that's true, but I saw it on 60 Minutes, and that shit just blew my mind. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, and that's when I started feeling like I've been duped, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
It's kind of a shitty feeling now, you know, for
Yeah.
sure. But at the same, like I said, like, I'm never going to say I regretted it. I
Yeah.
mean, this.
I would have never met you guys.
Nah, exactly.
And this is, honestly, like, this is the only family I have, and this is the only family I want, so.
Fucking A, right.
That's it, you know?
Love you, dude.
Love you too, bro.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.